All right, now say it.
This cowboy is going to Wyoming with a horse. And then right in front of a little store, an Indian was sitting there with a hand probably like this. And when the cowboy come around with his horse, the Indian gave him like this and like this. So the cowboy kept going. All of a sudden, when he stopped, he said, "Why the hell the Indian? I know what this means, but this." So the cowboy come back. And, "Hey, Indian, what is this for and what is this for?" And the Indian said, "This is for you and this is for your horse."
Wait, no.
Yeah.
Ready?
I should have said that.
One. Okay. No, just stay here. Sorry.
Oh, the Indian captured 3 guys: a German, Italian, and a Polish guy. So they were like poaching. So in the Indian country during that time, if you caught poaching, they have to kill you. They have to put you to death. So they asked this. First they asked the German. He said, "How would you like to die?" The German said, "Poison." So the German, the chief gave him the poison and drink it, and German died. And then the Italian said, "Well, how would you like to die?" The Italian said, "Give me a gun so I can blow my head out." So chief gave him the gun, blew himself out, and he died. And then they got the Polish guy. He said, "Well, how would you like to die?" He said, "Well, I want a pork." Oh. Then the German, when after the German died, they poisoned him, and the chief told the Indian, said, "Well, skin him and make a canoe out of him. You know, the skin make canoe." So they got to the Indian. The Indian showed his head, and the chief said, "Well, the head is only got a hole in it." So he said, "Skin him and make a canoe out of him." Then they got to the Polish guy, and the Polish guy, "How would you like to die?" He said, "I want a pork." He said, "A pork?" He said, "Yep." So the Indian gave him a pork, and the Polish guy said, "You're not making canoe out of me." Basa leaks.
Oh, quiet. You don't need to be quiet.
Ang Indian just took over a tribe in North Dakota. The chief is very young, no experience, just become a chief, whatever. So the first meeting, the Indian asked him. He said, "Hey, chief, are we gonna have a cold winter or warm winter?" The chief said, he don't have the slightest idea. Like I look around the sky, he said, "I think we're gonna have a cold winter. I think cold winter." He said, gather some firewood. So a week later, the chief went to the phone booth.
What about the weatherman?
Babe, that's where I want to go now. A week later, the chief went to the phone booth and called the National Weather Bureau. And he asked the guy in the Weather Bureau, he said, "Are we going to have a cold winter or a warm winter?" The Weather Bureau said, "Well, we're going to have a cold winter." So the Indian went back to the tribe. A week later, the Indian asked the chief again, "Chief, are you sure we're going to have a cold winter?" He said, "Yep, cold winter." He said, "Gather some more firewood, because we're going to have cold winter." So a week later, the Indian went to the phone book and asked the Weather Bureau again. He said, "Are we going to have warm winter or cold winter?" The Weather Service, "We're going to have a very cold winter. I know it, very cold winter this year." He said, "Well, how do you do that for sure?" And the chief asked, "Because," he said, I just saw bunch of Indian gathering a bunch of firewood."